Hello, Saskia here, devotional goddess. I'm here to share with you my journey so far in discovering that there is cancer in my left breast. I found a lump August 4th. I happened to be listening, soaking in the bath in my nice Epsom salts and baking soda warm bath. Well, it wasn't that warm because it was August, but I was soaking in the bath. And I was listening to a podcast, and the interviewer and the interviewee both were recalling their experiences with cancer. One, the interviewee she had breast cancer. And I was like, gosh, I hadn't checked my breasts in a long time. So I checked and, oh, there's a lump. Interesting. But that's not unusual in my breast makeup. So it's like, it's all right. I got a test. I got a meeting with my OBGYN group that week. So I wasn't so concerned, but it did play on my mind a little because I'm well aware of how spirit communicates with me and all of us when we listen to the subtleties that present themselves in the world around us. And it at least planted the seed in my consciousness, and I took it as a practice of non-attachment. Time will tell, but let's not harp on it. So that in and of itself was the practice of, could be a coincidence, could be a nudge from spirit. Had my doctor's visit, which led on to a mammogram visit. And, you know, as it unfolds, the mammogram turns into a biopsy. Biopsy turns into another biopsy, turns into, you know, the meeting with the surgeon, the meeting with the oncologist, and another biopsy and another mammogram. So each step along the way takes us to this point. End of August, nearing to just round the corner from November. And others have said, gosh, the waiting is terrible. But I've actually welcomed in the waiting because it's given me time to digest the information and to process. Because having the cancer word dropped on you is so loaded. We all know a handful of people who have passed from it. And thankfully, with the breast cancer, we also have a lot more who we know have survived. So I have that knowledge in my database, that knowledge in my world around me, as I'm sure many of us do, most of us do. When it visits you, when it's visited me, it was the first biopsy before going in for the biopsy where the doctor visited me. And first confirmed with me that there was suspicious cell development and they think it may well be cancer. And I just nodded, and then quietly the tears began to just stream down my face. And he was a really sweet, kind, good man, even complimenting, saying, I envy you for being able to cry. It doesn't come easily for me at all. And that was a very tender moment. I was like, oh, thank you. I joke with my parents that I have a lot of water in my chart. I have come to understand over the years, my astrological chart. But tears have always come first for me. Not anger, not depression. You know, the emotion for me, which is often right at the surface, is tears. And through my yoga practice, I've learned to create more containment around that, more grounding within my being. But I've also come to honor the power of my tears and to honor them. Even if I'm standing in the line in a supermarket when I was going through my divorce and just feeling raw at times and just honoring the tears, even if I was in public. I've learned not to suppress it. Yes, there are moments. I've now, in a way, what's the right word? Harnessed it so that when I'm with the girls, I can be contained. And like last weekend when they were at their father's, Sunday and partially Monday was very emotional for me, and I just let the tears flow. I went to a yoga class and I had given myself permission before class, not fully cognitively acknowledging that I needed a cry, that I needed to release, but something in me came to the surface of, okay, if you need to in class, you will be receiving a yoga class, you will not be holding it. So if you need to emote, I allow myself to. And I did. Not loudly, quietly, but it flowed out of me. And later I went for a walk in nature because I know how healing it is for me to be around nature. And I was fine. I was like, oh good, it subsided a bit. I'm feeling more grounded. And then I bumped into somebody I knew and it just overflowed out of me. And I joke with my parents about it because they know they just need to hold the space for a few moments and it will pass and she'll regain her composure and she'll be able to communicate what she needs to communicate. And I am grateful that I am now able to communicate that too. And in sharing this diagnosis with loved ones has also been such a humbling, painful, bonding process. I just shared it with one of my dear clients this afternoon. And my initial is tears. And yet in the same moment, I'm saying, it's okay, it's okay. And upon reflection of it, I realized that in the work that I do, that I hold the space for my clients and allow them to be vulnerable, and I offer the guidance for them to discover their own healing. And I support them and I hold the space for them on that journey. And now I'm being asked to do the same with my friends and my loved ones and the medical profession that I'm putting my that I'm working with. And I recognized when I shared it with my client that the dialogue that was coming out of my mouth was one that I've done with my family and several people along the path already. Is one that I want to protect them from this news that I'm sharing. And I can't. And I shouldn't. But my natural programming is to shield them from it. And because that's what I do. I support healing for others. And I don't ever want to burden anybody else. And that is some healing that I need to do for myself. Because it isn't burdensome to share. It actually allows greater love, greater healing. And it is so humbling to be on this path. And it brings you to your knees. Those of you who have disease in your body, long-term, chronic, you know it too. And it is in my honoring of my process that I honor the journey for myself. So I will share with you as I go on my path, my journey, my insights. And for those of you who have seen my COVID video and COVID visits, all those principles that I shared in that video, I continue to practice now more than ever. There are many nights that I put my head on my pillow and ask to be held, ask for guidance in my dreamscape, ask for understanding, for compassion, and to deepen my own self-acceptance and love. Because it is in that deeper acceptance and that deeper love for myself that I facilitate and I support and I create the healing within. Now, in being true to myself, I'm working with the wonders of modern medicine and making peace with the aspects of modern medicine that I had aversions to. So it's asking me to grow and expand, and move beyond and out of my comfort zone. But I've also come in contact with a naturopathic oncologist. And one of the lessons that came to me from the beginning, I'd said, I need to merge this. I need to merge my belief that medicine resides from the earth and my connection to it, and merging the knowledge and the wisdom of modern day medicine and having them work in unison. And of course, with my spiritual guides and teachers, both in the heavens and both here on this earth. And I have wonderful teachers and spiritual guides who I've worked with for many years, and some who I am working with for the first time, that have been such a support as I do my work to heal inside of me, all the areas that are being asked to be healed. So one of those gifts was, as I said, from the beginning of my journey, I said, I want someone to support me on the herbal front through the side effects of chemo, through all of this unfolding that is going to come. And I let it go. I put it out there into the universe. And speaking with one person leads me to another, leads me to another, leads me to another. And it has brought me in contact with a naturopathic oncologist who has studied conventional medicine, and she's also ordained, and she's also been received and accepted into the American Indian tribes of both the East Coast and the West Coast. And she is this powerful woman who knows herself, who lives her true, authentic self and is fulfilling her calling in life. And I cannot be happier than with the prospect of working with her and learning from her wisdom and being in the presence of her wisdom, as I am with all of my spiritual teachers, is receiving their wisdom, learning from it, taking it in and making it my own. And that is the only way we can grow and we can evolve, is when we take the lessons and the learnings and we take it sometimes first in our brains, in our knowledge, in our analytic minds, and sometimes it merges simultaneously with the heart, but ultimately it all integrates and drops into the heart. And that is when it is integrated into our being. So even throughout this, I will continue to take on my private clients and work with them and deepen my practice of self-care all the while. And I've been consciously working on that for the last 2 months. And I will continue to deepen it in order to have a greater understanding and integration of how it is to truly come to a greater state of balance, self-love, self-devotion, and gratitude. Many, many blessings and love to all. If this has resonated in any way, please subscribe, share, and like. My love. Namaste.